Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the third installment of the NBR podcast. Wait, is this the fourth one or the third one?
Third.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I had it right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the third installment of the NBR podcast. We're once again here, your hosts, and today we have a huge docket of very interesting topics lined up for you, and we're going to jump right into it with a recent video made by our very own Raymundo about Incredigate. Take it away,
That's right.
Ray.
There we go. So,
I didn't see
check
that.
it out.
I didn't see
Yeah, my
Bro.
hands moved too. So it's just to contextualize things. I'm sick and I look really rough right now. So we're using the Orion avatar, which I guess is technically makes me a VTuber, which I can't say I have too much pride in. But regardless of that unfortunate fact, I got stuff to discuss. I got stuff to talk about. I'm sure you guys have all seen the Incredigate YouTube's worst rabbit hole video.
Yes,
And
definitely.
if you haven't,
which is now,
if you haven't,
have not.
watch it.
Well, I'm asking you guys specifically.
Yeah, no,
we were there when it premiered.
That's right. You guys were on the premiere.
yeah,
we watched.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right.
And
I appreciated that.
I think even if we haven't seen your video, it's so out there.
Yeah, it's pretty. No,
Yeah,
people know
yeah,
what it is.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's doing pretty decently now, and for those who don't know, I'll summarize it quickly. Essentially, there's an insane rabbit hole on YouTube using these Mr. Incredible becoming uncanny memes that were popular in like 2022. And essentially what they're doing is having Mr. Incredible react to more and more like spicy art of a character. And now this kind of just sounds like your average meme bullshit, because a lot of memes kind of just rely on NSFW clickbait, and it's not really a big deal when they do. Like, you know, it's cheap, but it's not a big deal. But this is specifically different, because a lot of the channels in play are using children's search terms in their descriptions, and children's characters, porn of them, basically, that Mr. Incredible is reacting to. Which has made me very, very curious, and I've been aware of this for about a year now, but I haven't really been doing all the research involved. I just knew it was a strange thing, and so I went a little deeper and realized that there are some channels that have just full-on, completely uncensored pornography, one of which I didn't even feature in my video because I didn't want to direct people towards it. It's like, God, I don't even know how to describe it without just saying the worst thing. It's like a very openly naked Roxanne Wolf from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, no.
Why am I not surprised that that's the character?
Yeah,
Why is that not
let's just say
shocking?
She's spreading them. Let's just say she spread them. It's disgusting.
hey.
Completely uncensored.
Can you send me the link so I'll know to avoid it?
Yeah. I want to know to avoid it, bro. Yeah.
That's like that meme from It's Always Sunny. Oh my God, it's horrible. Where? You know?
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm actually working right now with a YouTuber who you guys might know by the name of The Beak, who
He was in the peanut butter vid, right?
he was. That's
Okay,
right.
yeah, that's
yes.
right,
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, what?
There's the link. No, yeah. Skip to I believe it's what is it? 30 seconds. 34 seconds in. Warning, by the way.
Yeah, you at home.
What the?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
in the world?
I
Dude,
know.
how is this on YouTube?
Yeah,
I have
How?
genuinely no clue. And again, this video is not age restricted.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
What the-
So that's the exact question that I asked. And so it's really an insanely disturbing rabbit hole that of course also involves the porn playlist conspiracy, because that always comes back up apparently. Which is
It's always a
essentially you looking
playlist.
up.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah, it's always the freaking playlist. You look up a search term on YouTube, often related to something child friendly. And then, you know, it's just a bunch of weird short NSFW clips with then some odd foreign like Vietnamese cooking video that being the next video, and it has like 50 million views.
Yeah.
Some
You're not
monkey
wrong.
hate thrown in there.
Oh
Dude.
yeah,
Yeah,
throw in some
dude.
monkey hate, call it a day.
my God, yeah.
Cherry
No,
on top
exactly.
of that cake.
Yeah, that finishes it off.
Some absolutely just disgusting shit. And it's one of those things that at the end of the day feels almost like unstoppable in a Hydra sort of sense. You know,
Yeah.
you take one down, another 10 pop up.
Yeah.
But
Kind of Elsagate vibes. It's just
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
everywhere.
It's everywhere, and there seemingly is nothing that we can do about it. Which is not. That's kind of the general consensus. I don't believe that personally, but that's kind of what has been on my mind recently, and I've been just finding more stuff since I made the video, and I'm like, damn, it really just keeps going. And
Is
so
there
I
anything
made a
else?
video to spread
I-
awareness. What's that?
Is there anything else that you found that you feel like you are able to share, or are you thinking of maybe even making like a part 2 or something to that?
So that's
Good
actually such a
question.
good question because I feel like a part 2 would be almost like redundant because a lot of it is sort of the same. I've just been finding more explicit things with different types of search terms. And I also noticed something interesting as well is that certain videos remain up on YouTube that are of nudity in a non-sexual sense, but still full body
Yeah,
nudity.
like those breastfeeding videos.
Yeah.
What is
very
it?
aware
What
of
was it
those.
like naked yoga or something?
the
that was
exactly.
yoga,
a
yeah.
big thing.
Naked cooking as
Yeah.
well. Naked cooking.
Naked cooking.
Why is
Yeah.
that necessary
HVH video on-
information?
on
Well,
I'd love to
I'm just
fry
I'm just putting it
bacon
out
naked,
there
dude.
that
That's
I
There's
am.
there's a lot.
It's like
And it's
nature.
interesting. It is, and
Oh
honestly,
no, the worst one was the guy. Sorry to interrupt. What was it? He
No,
was
you're good,
using
you're
like hair removal cream on his ass.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
that
yeah,
guy, bro.
that's
Not the
it.
nair, bro. The nair on the ass.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Like it's
That's
got like
the
20
one
million
A
views.
jump scare of
Yeah.
this dude's ass.
I mean, it's
Wasn't that,
made
like,
like
5
tens of
seconds
thousands of
in?
dollars. Yes.
Yes,
I
it was
think
in
it
the
was
first-
6.
like first 7-second
Crazy.
rule. You know, it was in there.
Asshole jump scare. Oh,
Yes.
That's got to be the
was
first
as
one
well.
from
you guys
YouTube
actually
history.
watched the video?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Till the end. Yeah.
I'm the
That's
only
why
one who hasn't
I
seen it.
I watch it
didn't
often.
want to see it.
Someone posted it on Discord and was like, "How is this on YouTube?" So of course I had to click.
Yeah, the first thing I did was
Yeah.
watch it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
swear it's
completely
still up.
fair.
Like I swear, it's that
Yeah.
dude is crazy. And
He
can
got
fight
famous
right
from
now.
that. Yeah, he got like really popular
Yeah, he
from the
did.
video.
Oh,
He
yeah.
totally did.
Yeah,
It's hysterical.
Seems like all
Oh,
he
he's
needed
got
to do
some
was
other
show it.
videos that are pretty gnarly.
Sorry, case in point, there's a lot of ways that you can upload nude videos on YouTube, and it's basically the guideline is educational value, and that makes sense. But I also realized too, a lot of the breast milk tutorials don't feel fully educational.
Yeah.
Listen. I've watched a couple of them for research purposes, right? And the thing is what I found is many of them, like, I don't know. I feel like for a tutorial, you'd be showing how to do it, and then you like put it in a cup or something. But there'll be those videos, and they're going like, oh, like they're squeezing it out, and they're turning left and right, and it's like spraying all over the place. And it's like, is this really educational? And the comments clearly are not from mothers who need help in the slightest, by the way. So it's a little suspicious.
A little.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just this VTuber talking.
Dude, yeah, the VTuber shit is killing me, bro.
And it makes it so much funnier.
Dude, yeah, I think maybe you need to keep this.
That is hilarious.
No,
bro.
yeah, keep that in.
Oh no, I mean keep this for next time. So, yes,
Oh.
these horrible atrocities are being kept on YouTube.
Yeah, he was like,
Exactly.
they weren't that entertaining. His arms moving up and down.
There's some that are
some
that are
impressive.
gross. Like I saw one that was like just a full video of a woman giving birth in like a little kiddie
Yeah,
pool thing.
yeah.
What the fuck?
Whoa,
On YouTube?
okay.
And it was gruesome.
Yeah.
It was not
Yeah.
not an easy one.
YouTube
what I
is
will say.
getting it's getting a lot more like relaxed with that kind of like I don't know, birthing,
Yeah.
kind of like breastfeeding and that kind of stuff. It is getting a little bit more kind of chilled out with that, I guess, like natural stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been
TikTok's the
noticing the
same
policy
way.
changes.
I think
Like, I
honestly,
get it,
there's
but
not much
it's
of an
also,
issue
like-
with that.
Yeah.
Like I get
Well, the
it.
birthing one, I would say if you're getting off to that, there's probably something wrong
Yeah.
with you.
Oh,
Because that
yeah,
one was
definitely.
pretty out there. That one was pretty bad.
Like I
Yeah.
understand, like it is like
Yeah.
it is like a natural thing.
But it's not a sexual thing.
Yeah.
I watched a video the other day that said that the King of France, like Louis the 15th, 16th, 17th. One of the Louis apparently got off to childbirth, and he wanted to watch, which is why women lie down instead of like standing
Yeah.
up. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Really?
true.
What in
But
the-
apparently, like the natural position for them is
Yep.
not to be lying down like they do.
To squat.
It's meant to be
Yeah.
squat or stand up. And apparently, like a king of France wanted to watch his wife give birth,
Yep.
so he was like, "Yeah, lie down." And that's why like women do it now.
Yep.
I
That's
don't know if that's
absurd.
true, but I
My
don't.
mother
I
told me
watched
that
it in a
too, so
video.
I don't know.
Ooh,
By the way,
Things in that
everybody
era were
watching
pretty
now,
weird.
By the way, everybody watching now, make sure to hit like and subscribe on this video.
Yeah.
So that
Turn
way
the
you can
post
get
noties
more-
on.
Yeah, get some more engaging content just like this right into your feed.
Like if you want to see
Exactly.
more content just like this every
Just
other
like
week.
this.
episode 3 is
Yeah.
just.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Oh,
And this is
Damn, bro.
Incredigate right here, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's it in a nutshell, yeah.
Yep, there we go. But yeah, so I guess really kind of the main point is YouTube lets a lot slide. And I guess I really want to be clear on my position here is that I don't think that like if a child sees a pair of breasts or like a tutorial in that sense, it's not going to be traumatizing. That's not going to scar them or anything. I get very majorly misconstrued by I'm going to be charitable here. People who, you know, are very kind of forward thinking in regards to NSFW content and its consumption. And they a
Forward
lot of
thinking
people
in
say
a
that I'm
negative
just,
or positive way.
in a positive way. Like
Okay,
they're
okay.
they're very pro sex work, like, you know, all this stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, I
Um,
get
Yeah,
you.
I
I
get
get you.
you.
And you know what I kind of have talked about many times is the danger of exposing children to this sort of content, because we've seen firsthand accounts. You know, I've been sent many things myself throughout the past year, just really sad stories regarding addiction and exposure, often through places like YouTube, that these kids didn't ask for. So you know, my
Yeah.
issue isn't with the existence of pornography or even, you know, it being easy to access, but my issue, and I think the point where it becomes detestable, is when it's being marketed towards children. And you know, there to me is no argument to justify that in the slightest.
Were some of them specifically explicit in kind of child-related situations? Like I remember one of them was like, it was like gradually increasing incestuous stuff.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when your sister does this, and then when your sister does this, and it's like
Exactly. It's
kids
they
might
were-
think that's normal
Literally.
Yeah.
that's the problem.
to do.
That's the big issue, is that so many of these, like, I think people kind of forget how impressionable young children are. Just in a truly, like, their minds are so malleable. You know, one thing about something could stick in someone's mind. Even as adults, this happens, right? Someone says something to you, you never forget it, because it hits close to home, right? It's like that times 100 with little kids, especially during the time of like sexual development. It's a really bad idea to have things that glorify incest with sexual imagery and these like
Yeah.
storylines, and
Especially when it's
it's just
something
disgusting.
realistically out there, like stepsisters and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
no, exactly. It's
'Cause
like
for some kids, that's like right there. It's not
it's real. It's
that
their
far
life.
out of a fantasy to have. It's
Yeah,
You know.
and that's really, it just gives me such a bad feeling, because, you know, back, I know for Gen Z, a big thing was like the old Vor animations of like Sonic and stuff on YouTube.
What do you mean a big
Um,
thing?
Yeah, that was the
What's
big
that?
thing back in the day.
It
Yeah,
was-
the old classics.
it was big enough
Oh,
to
they
stumble
all
upon by accident.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
guys
remember
think
watching.
you never
it.
saw
I never
these?
did. I never did.
Yeah.
That's
Good for you. Good for you. I'm glad
you're
you
one
did.
of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
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 You didn't
weren't
gain a
as, like-
trauma point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
like DeviantArt inflation things were
Yeah,
really big.
exactly.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
So
was
that, you know,
that's
has
a good
been-
pun. Those were really big.
It's they were
Uh-huh.
huge. Oh my god, yeah. Back in the early 2010s, and they were often of kids characters, you
They
know,
really
like,
blew up.
No.
all right, there we go.
Oh,
I'm pointing at the camera, but you
They
can't
were really
see.
growing in
Squeegee.
popularity.
Uh-huh.
Fringe alert.
Squeegee.
We're shutting down.
Squeegee.
Shutting down.
I'm deleting the channel right
No,
now.
no, that's a YouTube short right there. That's the inflation segment. Um,
Oh, the bow is crazy as fuck. Holy shit.
that's objectively funny. But yeah, that was a really popular thing that sort of 2003 to 2007 Gen Z kids witnessed a lot of, and I've gotten a lot of people coming to me specifically regarding that being an interest of them now, to say it in the nicest way possible.
Yeah, a
But
lot
the
of people
difference,
really
yeah,
did kind of get imprinted, I guess you would say.
absolutely, yeah. But the difference is that, like, I don't know, vor isn't real. It's not possible. So it's like, as odd as it is, it's not necessarily the most harmful thing to be into. It's different, obviously, from like cannibalism, which definitely would be a much more concerning thing.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
the
it's
issue
not going to
with
be like
like
a Jonah
incest
and the
stuff,
whale type situation.
yeah, no,
It's gonna,
exactly.
Yeah,
That's not gonna
yeah.
happen. But when what's really concerning, not that I'm justifying any of the vor stuff or anything like that at all, but my point is that it's gotten almost worse in the sense that these things that they're glorifying are so real, just like incest between siblings, which is very real and can happen. Just you don't need to have the jaw of a snake to make that happen. That's
Yeah,
it's
and
a
like
real
normalizing it
thing.
through through the veil of like memes is
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like it's
Yeah.
the
It's a Trojan
it
horse,
reminds
bro.
me of yeah,
and the
in
weird
a
thing
way,
is,
it reminds
yeah,
me of like the like the anime meme subreddits where like the meme is just porn. Like that's
Yeah,
the joke,
yeah,
is that it's
yeah.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
porn. And it's like they're almost like I don't maybe this is my conspiracy brain kicking in. This is my conspiracy segment, but like
Let's hear it.
interjecting like that weird like sexual like I don't know if perversions is the right word, but like subtly doing it to where almost like it's normalizing
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
idea of
that's
like being
exactly what I was
overtly
gonna say.
sexual.
Is they present it in a way where like, oh, everyone thinks like this. Like this is a really
Exactly.
normal
Yeah.
fantasy to have. Like, don't you agree with me, guys? I mean, surely you do. Type of fashion
Yeah, yeah.
is the way
Yeah.
it's presented.
And it's scary. Actually,
Yeah.
off of what you're saying, Caden, there's I've kind of experienced a similar thing when I was like 12. Because I, from what I could tell, I was big into meme culture. I was just the worst. And so many memes were like, that hentai hoodie where it's like black and white and it's
Oh
all
my
the
god.
like,
It's
Dude, I
like,
saw a guy walking down the sidewalk in one of those the other day.
oh my god,
gosh.
actually?
Serious, yeah,
Oh
seriously.
my gosh.
Holy
no way.
I
shit.
took a
Oh my
picture because it
God.
was weird.
You saw one in the wild. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jeez.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's horrifying.
Let's put him on blast. Let's put the picture in the video.
Some eye bleach.
There you
Right
go.
here.
Yeah.
Random
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
The picture was like his back, so you couldn't see his face or anything.
Oh,
so it's
somebody
not
can
like-
find
Yeah,
it.
no.
Oh,
Once
yeah,
it gets to
it's
4chan,
Put it
somebody's
up,
finding
put
it, I
up.
promise.
If you're wearing that in
Yeah.
public, you deserve to be ostracized. I'm sorry. But like when I was like 12 years old, I would never look up any of this type of stuff. But to me, it made me think that this is what like the cool kids were doing because it was so popular and just widespread all over the internet and through meme culture, just like hentai hoodies and all these like kind of
Yeah.
like zone parody memes and all
Yeah.
this stuff. And it just led me to feel almost left out in the weirdest of ways. And that's a very strange sort of sentiment, but it's the truth. It's
Yeah.
what
Everyone knows the
it
cool
felt
kids
like.
are into hentai.
No, exactly. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. But yeah, so I think that's a very real point to be made with that. And obviously my evidence is completely anecdotal, but it still says something, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
And
Speaking from
it's
experience,
deeply
mean-
concerning. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, it's just some really, really kind of concerning things are going on, and I guess have been going on YouTube for a really long time.
when was there not?
but-
Yeah.
Exactly. Back
There was
before
that
it was
period where, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but it
No, yeah,
was like
continue.
you could search. It was some term like recorded by, and it would just give you a bunch of people's webcam
Yes.
recordings that hadn't
yeah.
been titled. People were using
Yeah,
that to
webcam
find videos
from
of kids
Rabbithole.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah, something like
God.
that.
I remember
don't know.
that.
And then they would make playlists of like
Oh,
the kids they found to share them, and it wasn't technically
That's why you can't put.
against the rules, which so it was
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
to
God,
deal
it's
with.
that stupid fucking jailbait like gray area, and I fucking hate that shit, dude.
Because the kids aren't technically doing anything.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's very clear why they're making these playlists.
It's like we know what you're doing. You're not fooling anybody.
You're
Any
not
reasonable person would look at this and say, "We know why you're doing this." It's so.
Why is your likes playlist all 10-year-olds?
It's
insane. Well, also, not only that, but many of the playlists would have videos of kids doing like gymnastics and like stretching videos. Like it was very, very clear what they were up to. And the comments were disgusting, which is why now on videos made by children, you can't add them to playlists or comment on them.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, actually, I didn't know that.
I knew about the comment thing. I didn't know about
it was about
playlist thing.
Good.
Huh.
It is good. But you can still kind of you can in a roundabout way still add them to playlists, which I've found.
Browser bookmarks and stuff are still a thing anyway, so
exactly.
it's not like it completely gets rid of it.
But at least on this site, it gets an easy it gets rid of an easy way to like access that shit. People are fucking weirdos.
Yeah. Fucking
people will find any loophole they can.
That's still happening currently. That exact thing is happening to this day, but almost in a worse way. I'm going to make a video about this. Yeah, no, because YouTube seemed to have fixed it, and I don't recommend this. So listen, this is an odd. So I won't say the user's name, but a user on my Discord reached out to me. Like, there's basically a CP rabbit hole on YouTube, and I was like, "What the actual fuck?" Like, DM me about this. And so they reached out to me, and essentially to make it brief, if you look up certain body parts that are often fetishized and go into playlists, many of them will just be videos. Yeah, exactly. Like if you look
this
up,
is a great segue into our next guy who likes
actually I was about to say, if you look up feet on YouTube and go into playlists, there are going to be many videos of little girls like playing barefoot. And like in their own videos too, it's like review videos. It's so deeply disgusting and sickening. And I haven't researched further because of how much of just a mental drain it is to even think about.
Oh yeah,
dude, it's exhausting. I've hit that on some videos where one video will take way longer because the topic is just heavy, and I can't sit on it too long. You know?
I hate that feeling, man. When you're just like mentally taxed from a video. That used to happen to me a lot during icebergs.
That's like most of my videos now. I'm so sick of it. I'm gonna make a video about Willy Wonka candy. That's gonna be my like next video because I'm sick.
Is that why you did peanut butter? Because
anxiety.
Peanut butter is kind of a not heavy, you know?
No, I've been interested in that topic for a while. Fair. I'd had someone write the script because I didn't want to do all the research in the legal paperwork because I was working on Incredigate and stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, and then I just like outsourced that video, and that has been my most criticized video yet, and every criticism is completely fair. I don't like my contract's over with them. I already did.
Yeah.
But
dude, bro.
Yeah, I did one time. They suck to work with. I'm not.
Yeah, this might have to be squeegeed, but dude, I hate them. I hate working with them, bro.
I was gonna say, if this gets,
I hate them, bro.
Yeah, we're gonna have to squeegee.
I'm the only one with the balls to say that is not a good sponsor.
No, it's an awful sponsor. They're awful people. They're icky people.
Don't have to go into detail. All I said was they're really hard to work with.
Well, here's the detail. I sent a thing. I signed my contract. Okay, they refused to pay me for my like what I did for like 4 months, and eventually I was like, listen, I signed a contract. I got the view count that you said you will pay me, or I will like take legal action. It was like $dollars. Okay, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then is when they finally did it after I like threatened legal litigation. 4 months of not getting my money. And I was like, bro, come on, man. That's insane. I already bent the knee to do your sponsor, which like most people don't want to do because of this, you know? And
for me, it was what they kind of do to everybody. It was where they say, oh, it's going to be 60 seconds. And they give you so much shit to say. You can't possibly say it in 60 seconds.
Exactly.
It'll take you at least 2 minutes.
That was awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you have to say
add a little more, add a little more, add a little more. And
it ends up being like
no way.
They try to like ring you out as much as they fucking
I'm already giving you a minute of my fucking life,
They also lied
bro.
about how much money I was going to make from the spot, too. They said it was going to be $1, like $1. I was like, there's no way I can refuse that offer.
Right.
You know, I've been saying no to them for like the past 6 months, but then they gave me that offer with no view guarantee. I'm like, you know what?
Damn.
That's a lot of money. I'll take it. And then as I'm doing it, as we signed for it, then they're like, oh, actually, it's They dropped $1,000 from the deal.
Dude, I would back out.
I would have quit right then.
Yeah, I'm out.
I would have quit right then.
That makes it sound so snobby, but like, dude, I'm out. Like, I'll be out
no,
for sure.
For real. Like, listen.
It's the principle of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Promising the
like
farm and then
dropping
giving them a stick of
$1,000.
wheat.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then
I
they made me do
guess.
a community post because the link was broken for the first like 2 hours of the
Oh
video's
my
release.
God.
And in that community post, I'm just getting flamed, and it's just like, because no one. Fucking,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
I
like-
understand it at that
Dude,
point, to be honest.
When
People
I
hate
saw
rage.
those, when I saw your hearts though, I was sent, dude. I was like so delirious and tired.
And then I just see your community post. I'm like, oh, let's see the comments. Let's see Ray just getting flamed. And then I'm like, wait a minute, he's agreeing with the flamers.
Yeah, no, exactly. I completely agree with them. I didn't want to do that post, but
Well,
they-
Trolls have no idea what to do when you agree with them.
Yeah, that's
No,
like the
yeah.
ultimate
People-
way. Yeah.
Like people will say, "Dude, this channel sucks," and I'll be like, "Right," and it's just
Yeah.
no
I
response
fucking hate that guy.
I fucking love agreeing with people who are haters. It's
Yes.
really funny.
Dude, I always
Um,
like when people pin
yeah.
like hate comments up at the top.
Yeah.
I
it
used
makes
to
it
Like
do
when
better.
it's like
that.
most delirious
Pin a
hate comments,
shame.
people
Pin a
pin them.
shame.
I did that shit once for a video, and I just thought it was funny. I haven't done it since. I only did it once.
It
I
kind of
cracked.
encourages.
The one I did
like,
was someone
some
said,
people,
"You
though.
use the word that too much."
I'm like,
Dude,
What?
it's like, how do I avoid it?
Yeah, that is such a good word to use. You know,
It's a huge part of the English language. You can
Yeah.
say that like 3 times in a row.
especially
yeah.
us Brits, we say that a lot. We're like, oh, that's a nice one. That we say it twice in
Yeah.
one sentence.
It's like, I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
You can use it. You can use it like 3
pretty
times. I
sure,
know I
yeah,
found a
there
way to
are-
do that before.
We usually like to put it on.
I
the
don't know
end.
that. I don't know that's that way. You can
Yeah.
say that.
But like that's a real
Yeah,
sentence.
it's
Yeah. I
everywhere.
don't know that that's that way.
That way.
That's that way.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's that way. That way. Yeah. Yeah, that makes
Whoa,
sense.
dude, that is.
Too much
Dude,
tongue
that-
twister. Yeah.
Content.
That
That's
section.
crazy, bro. Yeah, that was.
So yeah, as you can look up things like feet on YouTube and see really concerning videos of feet of children,
Just segue
which
back.
makes
you know?
me think of a certain
circle
certain
back.
thing
Yeah,
going
how you
on.
mention
We'll just
it.
circle back to feet on YouTube.
That's a
you-
golden
Well,
segue.
it's the perfect segue into a certain someone who's been in the news recently.
Yeah.
You guys know you can
Uh,
Google feet on YouTube.
You can also see it on your
I'm intrigued.
TVs.
I'm intrigued.
You can also see it on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, on the new documentary.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the
Dude, is
segue
that
just
documentary
derailed.
really on Paramount Plus? Is it really?
No, I mean like all his old like Nickelodeon shows and stuff. on
Oh,
Paramount.
okay. I thought
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
if the documentary is on there,
No,
they're double
No,
dipping.
No,
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 no.
no.
That
No,
would be
you
fun.
can see all this on
Yeah,
on Paramount Plus.
What is it on?
it's
Like,
on
I-
Prime.
I think HP. I thought it was HBO.
It's
I
on
just
one
saw
of
a
them.
rip to YouTube.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That would
Like a
kinda
Russian
make
site.
most sense.
So I just
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just looked it up, searched by like today, and then just found like 45 minutes. Click on that.
Nice.
Oh, awesome. There you go.
I mean,
I shouldn't admit to that during a podcast.
Hey,
cares?
everybody
That
does
was
it. Everybody does it, bro. You're not the only one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have the
all you
thing
did was
firing
search
down my
for
phone.
it. It
Yeah.
came up.
And it was
Yeah.
there. You might as well
You
watch
went out
it.
of your way to
Yeah.
torrent it or something.
Yeah. Oopsies.
Yeah.
Click.
I thought it was
I thought it was a
free.
YouTube video.
Yeah,
It
no,
was,
exactly.
It was.
YouTube.
No,
Yeah,
you're all good. You don't gotta worry.
who has anything to say about? Because have we all seen it?
Yeah,
haven't
I've seen
I've
part
seen a lot of
3, and I've seen like most of
segments.
part 2. I didn't watch part 1.
Mhm.
I binged it all.
Okay, so you might be the most qualified to.
Yeah,
So
We
am
got
I
the
the only one who's
extrovert.
seen all 4 parts?
I haven't seen all 4
Yeah.
parts.
I have not seen.
Okay,
the
then-
full
I've been
part.
wanting to see it. I just haven't had time to do.
I made a video about the people in the vid, like before the documentary came out, like describing their
Yeah.
crimes and whatnot. But that's all I know.
So from what I have seen most, like from what I remember from it, because I saw it a few days ago, but part 1 and part 2 were essentially kind of very focused on Dan Schneider and the kind of work culture that he created in his early days. So they kind of go through his history and stuff, how he started, how he rose to prominence. And they focus a lot on a show called, I think it's called It's All That.
It's all.
Um,
yeah.
All
which
that.
had
yeah.
a
classic.
1994 show. So this is before my time.
Oh, dude, I
well, I
watched it
didn't-
all the time. Every
Oh,
Saturday.
did you? Oh,
Yeah.
dude. Oh, that's not good. It had, I think it had like a
Brutal.
rotating cast of kids. Every
Yeah,
every
Oh.
season.
it was SNL for kids, pretty much.
Yeah, SNL for kids. What they make, they do make a good point throughout the show, which is that like, a lot of what Dan Schneider was doing in his shows was like, say the Kids' Choice Awards is like the kids' version of the Oscars and stuff. Having it so that is like SNL for kids, and so he's literally bringing the stereotypes of Hollywood to children's entertainment in almost every way.
Yeah.
Because essentially the first 2 episodes are mostly focused on It's All That, which I think the reason for that is that a lot of the actors there no longer have careers in Hollywood, and therefore they never signed any contracts and stuff. They're kind of free to now tell their stories. Whereas this is like Dan Schneider in his early years. So to think that he started in 1994, he's in the peak of his powers probably by like the early 2000s, mid 2000s with like Drake and Josh and iCarly and Victorious.
I think wasn't it Amanda Show that he really?
It was the Amanda Show that's what took him off.
Off on
the Amanda Show. Yeah, they speak about the Amanda Show as well. These are the shows I'm not so like, because a lot of these are a little bit before my time. So I just had to go off the dock for like what the content was. They bring up like costumes are inappropriate. Was it some sort of like Fear Factor for kids kind of game in It's All That?
That was later on. Yeah.
The challenges that like basically they were just chosen and they'd have to complete some sort of like scary task. It was an environment that was not safe for kids. The parents said that they couldn't speak up because they're like, a lot of them, you know, these are their kids' first jobs and stuff. They don't want them to get blacklisted. Some of these kids are actually providing for their parents.
That's when it gets really parasitic and shitty.
Yeah, there was one of the guys there was saying that like he wanted to get out of the hood, so he had to just go with whatever Dan Schneider wanted. And in the end, he got fired anyway because his mum was kicking up a stink behind the scenes. So first 2 episodes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was the one who was also dealing with kind of some racist issues behind the scenes, was it?
Yes, there were accusations about racism, which Dan Schneider addressed in his response to it, which we will discuss in due time. The 3rd episode is about, it was kind of like a breaking story, because this is the first time that the world really knew about this, was Drake Bell was talking about his assault case. Basically, he was assaulted by I think it was a speech coordinator or something
dialogue
like
instructor.
that.
Brian
He was
Peck.
Was he a casting director as well?
I
I
can't
don't
recall
know.
that.
No, he was a dialogue coach on. That's what he was doing.
Okay, I think the
Dialogue
casting
coach.
director was a different guy. I think that was another guy.
You might be
on
thinking
there.
of the assistant director or something, or was it the PA or something, the production assistant?
Yeah, so that was Jason Handy. Is
Something.
that guy's name?
Yeah, Jason
Or
Handy,
I think
Jason
what it
Handy,
was
yeah.
was that Dan started as a casting guy and then
Maybe.
kind of moved up. That
Oh,
might be
maybe.
what it was.
He casted his own shows as well, though. He was telling like the girls from It's All That, like, I chose you, you're my choice. And then basically everyone from like It's All That, then he casted Amanda Bynes. Then from the Amanda Show, he moves on because Drake Bell co-stars in that. So then that moves to Drake and Josh. And then from Drake and Josh, Miranda Cosgrove is in that. And so that moves to iCarly. And in iCarly,
Each one kind of spun off of the other.
Victoria Justice.
Victoria
cameos in
Justice is in
iCarly,
Zoe
and then
101 too. So.
Oh yeah, of course she is. Yeah, and then she goes to Victorious, which is probably where the most egregious stuff happens as well. If you've seen like the behind the scenes stuff.
He was getting brazen.
You've also
got
to look at the era, because with all that in the 90s, this stuff wasn't leaking on the internet.
No.
The internet wasn't big enough yet.
I
for
bet
this
he
stuff
thought
to
he was
get out.
invincible, bro. I bet he thought
it
it
could
was.
so much easily be more quashed at that time.
Yeah.
And even by the early 2000s, people weren't using the internet a lot.
No.
So it wasn't really until like the YouTube era when this information would really get out. So I'm sure it was probably the same amount of stuff happening on each show. It's just that with the newer ones, we're able to get more information.
Get more
about
evidence.
it.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, because he was also like, I guess he was uploading some of the clips from like say iCarly and Victorious to YouTube on his channel, which has now been heavily studied and stuff, and people can kind of people have been seeing.
Didn't he have some tweets too that people were kind of?
Can you count the number of toes on Sam's feet?
Yeah. Hey everyone, send in pictures of your toes or something.
I saw that.
Dude,
that is outrageous, and he doesn't respond to it in his response. There's not a discussion about feet in it.
He didn't respond to anything we wanted to hear him respond to.
It was word salad, bro. On nothing.
No, he's like, oh well, yeah, I knew about the racism, but I wasn't a part of that. Okay, well, tell us about the stuff that you were a part of. That people...
exactly. It was such a good case of misdirection. And I've been seeing it again and again in like these apology videos. You know, there's been many controversies this year, and they all kind of do the same thing where they address the kind of minor issues and take accountability for them or excuse themselves and just completely ignore the actual big problems.
Or they call it,
or
what do they call it? Whataboutism. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, but what about what this guy did? Isn't that so much worse? You know,
Exactly.
just kind of
Sometimes
try to distract you. You know,
they'll like address like I'm aware these things are happening and I've been hearing about them. And trust me when I say I've been hearing it. I've been hearing it.
Yeah, I've
so
heard it.
much.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm just gonna say I didn't have part of that, but like I heard it. Like I hear you.
Yeah, no,
The
exactly.
most you'll get is an "I'm sorry, but."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
That is the
Sorry, it
most
essentially
you'll get.
goes down to like, I'm sorry that you feel that way too.
Yeah.
If you really get down to the details of the apologies, and it's kind of like, it's kind of genius, honestly. It's sickening, but
Yeah,
it works.
it's because it's like it's like they
It's
admit it,
crafted.
but they don't. How do I even word it? I'm sorry, I don't even know how to like. But yeah, like it is intelligent in a way because it's like they almost get there, but it's like not really.
Yeah, it's
there.
like lawyer speak.
It's kind of like that plea criminals can do, where they're
Yeah.
like, I acknowledge that I will be going to jail, but I don't claim guilt. So
Oh,
it's like
yeah,
guilty
yeah,
without
yeah.
being guilty.
Yeah.
It's a lot like that.
It's really fascinating, and it's genuinely just manipulative too.
Oh yeah.
You know,
It makes
like,
you wonder if they have a PR ghostwriter type guy.
Oh,
Like, okay, this is what you say.
Oh yeah.
We've got
yeah,
to.
definitely.
They just, even for those interviews, there has to be someone like, okay, when you go in, don't mention this, don't avoid this. You know, it's just
that was the first thing I thought when I watched Schneider's apology. Like, oh, this is like all the questions are so carefully picked out to be the least, you know, like the guy
didn't bring up the feet.
Yeah.
Like, everyone wants to know about the feet. Not a word about the feet.
Not a word about the feet.
Didn't his
Not a word about
mansion
the feet.
have like a foot shaped thing? I could
The
have
logo.
That was
Yeah, the logo
like
Nickelodeon
the
was
swimming pool.
Yeah, the swimming pool.
So that is actually that is a piece. I was actually just about to bring. Oh, it looks like I'm asleep. I'm awake. That was a piece of misinformation. That foot-shaped pool isn't actually his, but the Nickelodeon logo back in the early '90s was a foot. However,
To be fair, it swapped out a lot. It was a foot
I know there's like
sometimes.
a splash
Yeah.
one where it looked like just.
I want to say it was the
yeah,
Rocket for a long time.
I've seen
Yeah.
the different.
It was also
there was a lot of different ones, but from what I can tell, the foot was around before Schneider worked at the company.
Yeah, things like that are humorous, but it's not really.
It's like bad
It's,
taste.
it's just kind of like it's just a funny. It's a coincidence that it's like, wow, this didn't age well. type
Exactly.
Age
yeah.
like milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a foot jacuzzi, but he would have these girl actresses like come in the pool with him
Yeah.
and stuff. Like
Wasn't being in a bikini part of the casting process? Where
I believe it
was one
I
of the
believe it was.
outfits that was mandatory to try.
Jeanette McCarty talked about
Yes.
that in her book.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that book was the source of quite a bit of
That's when
it.
it started.
Well,
Really.
I was gonna say that like a lot of it would kind of match up with Dan's. The accusations they put forward in the documentary was that part of the fun for him was that he got away with it. He would put these things in plain sight,
Yeah.
and he would get away with it.
Yeah.
He would make a character's second name some sort of innuendo, or he would kind of make something very suggestive, but then he could always play as though he couldn't. He was like, "Oh wait, this is suggestive. What are you seeing in Ariana Grande kind of juicing a potato?
Yeah.
Like,
or like
what?
pouring water all over her shirt and shit. You know, it's like what the fuck?
And so that's the kind of stuff where I think at least the documentary alleges that they think he has some sort of like he kind of prides himself in being able to put this in front of millions of people and get away with it, which he did. And I like to this very day, now I look back at it and I'm like, oh yeah, how did no parents write in and go like, this is a bit inappropriate? How come?
Yeah.
You know, it's to the point where it's circumstantial, but there's so much circumstantial evidence that it's just undeniable.
Yeah.
Exactly. It seems to me like time and time again that seems to be a recurring theme with those who are predatory in some sort of powerful position, that they kind of put clues out in the open that are seemingly innocuous but are evident of a larger
It's
thing.
like how conspiracy theorists think the Illuminati put their symbols into everything, but these guys are actually doing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
But it
like a
happens,
real
like,
Yeah, it's a phenomenon.
It is, like, with everything, even with Elsagate and stuff. That was part of the theory around it, that it was just like, creeps barely hiding their shit
Yeah.
in
Or like,
plain
look how
sight.
much I can do and get away with, and none
Yeah,
of
Yeah,
you
it's
will
almost like a
either.
power trip
Exactly.
play
Yeah.
sort of deal.
I think
And
it's like they have the original fetish, and then getting off on the power of getting away with it is almost like
exactly.
a secondary.
Yeah,
Secondary,
yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like if someone wore a shirt that said "Dirty Dicks."
Yeah. I mean, it's
It-
just like that
would
actually.
be
Yeah.
like, let's just
Yeah.
hide this in the shot, so no,
Yeah.
the people
Oh, you
might
think
see
this
it,
is
but they
weird?
won't
I think
know.
you're the creep, actually, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm not the one
What's
wearing a
inappropriate
shirt
about
saying
this?
"Crab House."
Yeah. What about
I'm not the
the
one in
crab
Jimmy
house?
Neutron cosplay right now.
Yeah. Come on. Man. Yeah.
Dream blast. Sorry.
What the hey,
I guess this is gonna be, by the time this podcast episode comes out, this will be said to death. But it's just such a weird thing that could never have been ticked off anyone's what would you call it, like a 2024 bingo. The person giving the interview to Dan Schneider is Tebow from iCarly.
Dude, I couldn't take
it's
it
so
seriously at
weird.
first, bro. I was like, what the fuck? It was like uncanny almost. Uncanny Valley.
Does this dude just
Yeah.
want to end his career? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
That's what
know,
I was
dude.
thinking.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
he was
weird.
agreed by Dan
Why are
Schneider.
you making these? Well, especially on account of the fact that more could come out in these very moments. It's like
oh,
he's
you
risking
will look
it all.
so bad if more comes out.
I mean,
Oh,
dude,
well,
there's
cartoon
been
after
some
that.
more
Bad
stuff
in, like,
coming out
2
too.
months. I don't even know.
Yeah,
Like-
oh, God. If some of those conspiracy
It's-
theories are proven true,
Like,
you'll know
Exactly.
Yeah. What's he
I would
gonna do?
honestly
Make a
say
follow-up
that
video where he's like, "I denounce everything I said"? Or
well, here, let me tell you about this.
Yeah,
What
I
happened
don't know.
yesterday? Alexa Nicholas, the person on Zoe 101, she came out yesterday with another co-star on her Twitter, and said that several times in the show, Dan Schneider would cause the show for like a 20-year-old guy to kiss one of like the 13-year-old actors
Oh,
on the
my
show.
God.
what's the context?
So-
yeah,
What
what was
in the
the
world?
what was
So-
the reasoning?
Tori Vega, that's when she was in Zoe 101. You know how she was kind of like the girl in the show that would kind of like get a bunch of boyfriends and kind of swap through them. That was like the entire bit for her. Apparently, the cast and directors knew. Like, I'm looking at her tweet right now, and it's just a podcast called No More Nostalgia. But anyways, I'm looking at it right now, and she says that the cast and directors knew that Tori was 13 and this guy was 20, and they still wrote the show for
Oh
them to
my
kiss in the show on camera.
Oh, okay. So it was like a really horrible casting choice.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but they knew.
Okay.
And they went along
knew.
with it. And
But the same thing was kind of done with Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. Wasn't
Exactly,
It? It was like
yes.
20 and 14 or something like
Yes.
that.
So, and who ran Zoe 101, right?
I
Dan
mean,
Schneider.
a lot of this, like the documentary, is just to do with how Schneider ran his shows and how it was just unsafe for like the child and the culture that he kind of created. Because some of these people, according to him, were not casted by Dan himself. It's just like when you have what's his name, Handy and
Yeah, Jason Handy.
and Peck,
And Brian Peck.
who
yeah.
like two people who were like confirmed by kind of law enforcement to be nonces that like
Yeah, there's no doubt in those two. It's not circumstantial. This was
No.
yeah they were,
Guilty,
no,
you
yeah
know.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
and then Jason Handy proceeded to commit the same crime when he moved to North Carolina 10 years later. So, that's
did
kinda
he?
crazy. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
didn't Peck get rehired by Disney like
Yes.
immediately after?
Yes.
he did,
Yes,
yes,
he did.
yeah.
Yeah.
They fired him though once they
Yeah.
figured it out, which is whatever. But you should have
Dude,
known.
how did they not know?
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the
you should have
first
known.
place?
Okay,
Yeah.
this guy's got a
This was
record.
all over the news.
He's on the
in
sex
your
registry.
industry.
Like, you should know this. Like, you should really know this.
Yeah, and being in the same industry, I don't feel like there's any way they could have not known.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
And Peck worked with like Leonardo DiCaprio when he was a kid too, bro. So like, who even knows?
Yeah.
speaking
Yeah.
of Peck, different Peck, but didn't Josh Peck also come out to kind of defend Dan Schneider a bit?
He did.
Did he?
Yeah.
He
I
did.
saw that.
But recently
He
he
has.
seems to have contacted Drake, like apologizing for the way he
That's what
he
I was
did
gonna
it.
say. It sounds
So I don't know
Be-
about
but
that.
defending him was pretty recent, and
Yeah,
then to come out
yeah.
in support of Drake
Only
like,
after
not
the
even a
thing
week
came out
later.
too. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He invited him to his
But
wedding.
you know,
He
in
invited Drake to
Josh's
his wedding.
defense, he might have just thought, I haven't seen any of this, so
True.
I can't really
True.
say
Yeah.
from a place of knowledge that this happened. He could easily just be saying, I don't know anything about it. To me, he seemed like a good guy.
It's
I don't
kind
know.
of
Right.
tough
Yeah.
though, because then you see Jerry Trainer behind the scenes and stuff, and the internet has been in love with him since
Yeah.
they've been looking
It's
over
been
these
going
Dan
kinda
Walk
crazy.
videos
Yeah.
and seeing they've heard stories of how he would go to sets even on his off days because people assume now that he was there to try and protect like the younger kind of castmates on
Yeah.
iCarly.
You can see in the videos too
Oh,
sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, you can kind of sense that there was some tension like between kind of him and Dan Schneider. At least that's the way it comes off.
I completely get the dissension in the video. Yeah.
Which, like, if what these people on It's All That and Zoe 101 were saying about him being, and even Jeanette McCurdy herself was saying that he would go from, like, very kind of generous and warm to, like, extremely kind of, I don't know, like, hard to be around just at the click of a button or kind of a snap of the fingers, it would make sense that, like, I don't know. Maybe some people have different opinions. Maybe it's It could just be that he's a boy, and like the kind of Drake and Josh show was like a lot more kind of because it was just like mostly two guys.
It does seem like Dan was only really focused on the girls.
Drake did say that he felt safer on the show.
The other criminals were into boys, but it seems like Dan didn't really do much to them.
I found it really interesting that like Drake Bell, he kind of supported Dan in the documentary, talking about how he actually like felt safe and like could be funny on Drake and Josh's set because he didn't feel like he was gonna get hurt by anybody that was like Brian Peck. So that's very.
And I
interesting.
think Dan tried to give that aura of kind of a father figure.
Yeah,
but then the real personality would leak out, and that's what people are talking about when they're like, "Oh, he would flip on a dime." I mean, you notice that with people who are kind of faking their personality all the time, is it doesn't take much for it to drop.
No.
Right.
Just one little hole in the facade.
I remember a couple of years ago seeing a video. It was like Moist Critical's podcast, and he had Gibby's voice actor, Gibby's actor on the podcast. And he was asked about the Dan Schneider stuff, and he was like, to my knowledge, no. But he didn't want to like defend him just in case kind of stuff did come out.
Yeah.
Which now I'm like curious because obviously like Gibby's actor is not I don't even know if he's still like in Hollywood or whatever, so he maybe he signed a contract or something, but I don't know, it's one of those things where there seem to be some people that have had just horrendous experiences and other people where they've not reported so much, whether it be because they didn't experience it or whether it be because they have to for whatever reason kind of lie or kind of push it away a little bit.
And I personally don't think there's anything wrong with saying to my knowledge, no. Because I think if I was kind of in that position, I would try to stay out of it too. If I had a boss that treated me great all the time, that I heard he was treating other people bad, I would probably just be like, I don't know. And
I mean, you can only
try to stay out of it.
Your personal experience.
I can't speak for either of them, honestly.
Yeah.
One of them's lying, but who? And I just don't know.
But yeah, this has been something that's been boiling for years now.
Yeah, I want to hear from like
people have
Ariana
known about
Grande
Dan.
and that kind of thing too, because she hasn't really ever, and she was typically one of the people that got like the weird stuff happened to her. So
because I want to say Blame It on Jorge made a video about this a good few years
it was five years ago.
It's been known. It's been known. It's just that this brought it into the kind of out of the YouTube sphere and into the public.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. Because I don't know, I've seen discussion of it throughout the past 5 years. I think Blame It on Jorge was probably the kind of starting.
He was like the biggest one to do it first.
Yeah,
there were other people talking about that even before that.
There definitely were. But it's just interesting that now it's like a widespread mainstream media sort of thing, and I'm so glad that it is. It's truly a good thing to see, but at the same time, the amount of people who are kind of convinced, oddly enough, at least like I've been looking at the Twitter discussion of it, to be clear, it's not really the most evidential thing, but a lot of people are mildly convinced by Dan Schneider and his apology. It's just kind of like, really? How much
I
trust
think
do you
with
have
Dan,
in, like,
it's such a gray area. Like he looks creepy, but is he intentionally being creepy? It's
he does look very creepy. I will say
some people are convinced in different ways.
Like, is he just racist and sexist, or is he like a fucking pedophile? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, it's
like,
that's
what it is. You know,
it's like, is he turned on by this, or is he stupid and dense?
Yeah, like I don't
and
know.
doesn't see what he's doing, and because it's just you have to follow one side. Is he dumb or is he creepy?
Yeah, I don't know. Like if he
You'd have
was
to be
like,
pretty damn dense, though. I will.
Yeah.
Oh
say
yeah,
that.
at this
Oh,
point,
yeah.
dude.
From my point of view,
Yeah.
you should immediately assume the worst. This might be controversial. You should immediately assume the worst in those who are in a position of power in the entertainment industry that like have accusations of child predatory nature, you know?
Yeah.
Not guilty until proven innocent, but more so just like I would be
Looked at
less
more closely
charitable.
than somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. 'Cause it's truly like, it gets to a point where it's like how many people are going to be called out for people to realize that there's a larger issue than an individual issue. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
Like-
it's been going on for at least 100
Yeah,
years. I
'cause
mean,
this is
think
the tip
back
of the
to
iceberg.
think back to who was it? What's her name? Shirley Temple. Well, didn't she have
Oh,
issues
yeah.
with
Yeah,
things
yeah.
and stuff?
Yeah.
It's been going back to
Yeah.
black and white Hollywood days.
Yeah,
Way
no.
back in the day.
It's
yeah.
like it's been an
Yeah.
evil industry since the start. And it's sickening. Truly. But people seem to I think there's too much kind of personal investment in the properties like the Nickelodeon shows and certain famous actors who are maybe in the Black Book or all these different things that they want to defend them because there's a personal level of intimacy with these products that they don't want shattered.
Yeah.
I never grew up with any of the live action Nick shows, but I imagine if I did and I learned all this stuff about Schneider and how it was backstage, I would be heartbroken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it
No,
would
I mean,
be-
I did, and I was.
I am.
so-
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It
Yeah.
fucking sucks,
Because I
bro.
think
So I
me and
kinda
Jared were talking
understand
about
that.
that. We both watched those shows, and
Yeah. Every day.
it
before and
hits
after
harder
school.
when you're
Yeah.
like, oh, it kind of taints it, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
It
exactly.
really does.
Yeah.
yeah.
I would feel the
Sours the
same if I
enjoyment.
learned some of my favorite things had indeed like abusive workspaces or predatory people. It would be heartbreaking, and I'd have to accept that. I wouldn't defend the people who are if responsible.
Didn't last episode we talked about separating art from the artist a little
We
bit?
did. We absolutely
Kind of
did.
comes
Yeah.
down to that.
Yeah.
It does. It does. I don't think anyone should again, I guess I should be clear with this too. I don't think anyone should, stop enjoying their favorite shows from childhood because of this. I feel
Well,
like
I
a lot of
think,
people are getting in
the-
trouble with it, but
I think the mom from Drake and Josh actually tweeted about this
She
and
did.
said,
Yeah.
she said something like, I really hope that all the good outweighed the bad, or at least helped to
Yeah.
mitigate it.
Yeah,
Response kind of like
very,
that.
very
yeah,
poignant
'Cause
message.
Right.
Yeah, it was
I
pretty good.
legitimately think she didn't know just
No, I don't
by the
think she
way
did either. Yeah.
it sounds,
Yeah.
because she's clearly not defending anybody, just saying,
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
boy, I really hope the good outweighed the bad. In
No,
the end.
that's
I
a
think you
completely
would.
fair point too. Yeah.
I mean, you would hope from someone in
Yeah.
her position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean,
You
I
would
would
hope as
hope
a viewer, you
someone
would
who
hope that the
doesn't
good,
want-
it was more good than
Yeah.
bad.
Exactly. Just from a perspective of not wanting people to face misery, I would hope that
Yeah,
that that the good
just as a
outweighs the
human
bad.
with empathy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Basic human. Yeah.
I get the
just-
same
just
thing with
Crazy stuff,
Community
and I feel kind of I don't know. It just feels like nothing is
Not much is being
Safe.
done.
Yeah,
And nothing's
I
being done,
sincerely
yeah.
believe this is going to be one of those things where it's like everyone's going to be talking about it, and then in a few months, like there's going to be no investigations into it. It's just
Yeah.
going to be something that and to be very clear, I don't think that's a good thing at
No,
all.
of course
Like this
not.
stuff is
No.
ridiculous.
It's just a
But it's what
trend that
happening
we've
to
seen
people.
time and time again.
Yeah, it's just
how-
it's something I'm I guess just expecting to happen because as you said, Kyle, like it's just something that I've kind of grown used to with the way the
it's
internet
just a sad
is.
reality of internet
Yeah,
outrage.
it's
Yeah.
big
It's
for a month.
very
It's
temporary.
big for a month. Everyone talks about it, and then 3 months later, there's no investigation into it. There's maybe like maybe a few people that are still trying to spearhead it,
Yeah.
but even then, like no one, like it's not like all the eyes are on it anymore.
Yeah.
Hell, a lot of the time when
something
they're
new
behind the
coming out
scenes
sometime
workers, their careers just bounce back. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like it's easy for
Yeah.
an actor to get canceled because you're looking at their face.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when it comes to behind the scenes work, it doesn't come up much.
yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I hope
Yeah.
something does actually like come of this though, because I think
Yeah.
At
I
least
can't
a
recall
good,
a time
thorough
where it's-
investigation.
yeah, I can't recall
Yeah.
a time where it's been like this, like out there. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
this
Public
is-
and heated.
so-
This is
Heated
this
yeah,
is
might be a
really-
public
good
and
yeah.
heated. So Who knows? I do hope something at least.
I would say maybe with Weinstein and Cosby, it was kind of
I mean,
getting to this level.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe for a kids show, it might be the first time. Well, actually, Fox in the UK, wasn't there that guy who was he was
Jimmy
on some
Savile.
kids show?
Back.
Yeah, he would like
Jimmy
visit kids in the
Savile, yeah.
hospital.
Yeah.
And,
So the one I'm thinking that you're probably talking about is Jimmy Savile, which was that
I
was a
think so.
massive,
Oh yeah.
massive conspiracy over here where he was like people were, I don't know, protecting him and stuff, and I think he was working for the BBC, I believe, and he had a show called Jim Will
for a
Fix It,
long
where-
time.
Yeah, for decades. And then it was like after he died, immediately people were like, he touched me or something when I was a kid. And then like he was just immediately the second he died, people were like dancing on his grave basically because
And it wasn't
Yeah.
some people; it was a lot of people.
Yeah.
yeah. We're talking dozens, maybe even I don't
Yeah.
even know how many, but because
It
this
was-
was like a decade.
It was in the tens.
I remember I had just started secondary school, and so I was like kind of, I don't know, year 7, which is like the youngest of secondary school. These 2 kids in the year above came up to me and my friend, and they were like, "Hey, does your name begin with J?" And then my friend's name did begin with J, so it was like, "Yes." They were like, "Jimmy Savile," haha, and then ran away.
Yeah.
Bro,
Got him.
yeah.
Your friend
Got
was
his
like,
ass.
It's a bit of a reach, but okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just the dialogue when you're
Yeah.
like 11 or 12 years
Yeah.
old. People didn't even
Well,
know. what
it's
it
like,
was.
hey Kyle, you know
Jimmy
what else
Savile-
starts with K? The KKK.
Yeah,
Oh,
like yeah,
Me. Oh.
yeah.
Like, oh shit.
Yeah, I've been faced with
Should've
Ray
foreseen that.
gay jokes since I was
Oh
like
no,
10.
yeah.
I've gotten Gaiden before.
Yeah.
Gaiden.
Anyone with an A sound in their name was doomed.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's
it's
over.
over.
It's so over.
So-
I got Kyle pile of shit. That's about the worst.
oh my
That
god.
doesn't make any
Damn.
fucking sense.
It's like part of it rhymes.
You're like,
Part of it.
"You're almost there. Like,
Oh,
you
yeah.
kind of stuck the
It's like a
landing.
near
Not
near
that
rhyme.
was Kyle, so they had to kind of really struggle to find something.
Yeah. It's like they got the landing, but they kind of like rolled their ankle a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
before they.
Yeah.
It's like almost. It's
But,
wild
yeah,
shit.
The dude in the UK, I didn't even know about it in the US until YouTube videos about it.
Yeah, there was also Rolf Harris, but I think he was Australian, and he died like last year. And he was on my 2023 predictions for him to die, and then he did. And then everyone was like, "Yes."
Did you have a
Like,
death bingo?
No. It's just a normal.
No, like a
bingo, and
2020. Yeah.
Every year I predict at least 1 or 2 people to die. I'm like, oh yeah, let's just write them
It's
down.
their
And-
time.
But for me, I was like, okay, who can I write down? Because I don't want to like premonition, I don't know, like Ringo Starr and then he just dies or something. So I was like, okay, I can put
Yeah.
down
Sitting
like,
here with
Rolf
a
Harris.
note, and you're like, oh shit, what have I been writing in? You
I
know?
can put down Rolf Harris because he's like this internationally recognized nonce, and then he just did
Yeah.
die. It was
When
so
it's
just so
bad
happened.
people, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, the Jimmy Savile stuff, that was big. That was like, even to this day, like it's still, I don't know, like a very big, because I believe people were annoyed because the conspiracy is the BBC covered it up, like they knew, which
There's
they,
a lot of
they-
evidence for that too. A
yeah,
lot.
and that's like the taxpayer money, which would
Even
why it's a
worse.
big thing,
Yeah.
because it's like people, working people have gone to fund this show, and then
Ugh,
behind the scenes
yeah.
he's going and diddling.
Oh god, in America we have a
wow.
lot of that. Like, what our evil, horrible thing is our tax money doing now? You know?
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
first time, really?
Yeah.
First
Yeah,
time.
that's
Not my first time.
meme.
No.
Oh, man.
That's
So
fun.
yeah, I don't know. I think there's like there were investigations of the BBC, like who knew about this, because I don't know. And then even then there were documentaries afterwards where like he's, I don't know, there's videos in of him like going out and saying like, yeah, I like girls that are a bit young, they don't really know what they're doing yet, and he's just going out there on like interviews talking about
What the
Look it up.
Brother.
Goes back to that's a callback to what we were saying, where they try
Yeah,
to throw it out there because they know they'll get away with
They
it.
think they're untouchable, dude. I think it's just
Yeah.
narcissism
And he
at the end of the
was.
day.
He was untouchable.
Yeah,
Everyone
he-
protected him, and it never came out until he died.
Yeah, as long as
That's,
he was
that's
alive,
what makes it even worse.
Exactly, yeah. So that one was quite big. I don't know. We have some pretty, yeah. I don't really know what to say. I mean, I wasn't really too aware of like what happened because I was like 11 or 12 years old, but it was like big news in and around me at the time.
Yeah.
I just see it come up whenever these conversations of people working in kids shows who shouldn't be comes up.
Yeah.
He's usually at the top of the
Yeah.
list.
What it is, yeah, he had a show basically. I think it was a show where like a kid would want something. So like, I think his show was like Jim will fix it, and the kid would be like, "Oh, like I wish," kind of like imagine like Make a Wish, just like instead of the Make a Wish Foundation, it's
The kids aren't dying. They're just doing something cool. Don't worry.
Hey, Make-A-Wish is cool, bro. Trust.
So yeah, basically, yeah. I think they would come and they would want something, and then he would do it for them by the end of the episode and stuff. And then apparently there was I don't know, like tons of reports that came out that people actually said. I remember reading something that at one point someone came out and he, I think he had like groped her or something, so she ran out of like into public and said like Jimmy Savile is like trying to grope me, and people just laughed. They were like,
Speaking of which, he was caught groping a girl on camera on stage.
I remember seeing the video. I remember
Bro, what
seeing the
fuck,
video.
bro?
Yeah, she's standing next to him, and you can't see his hand, but he reaches over
behind
there,
her.
and then she goes, "Oh!" and jumps up and like looks at him, and
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
Horrible.
I think she was an adult, to be fair, but still.
Yeah, she
Well,
was. Yeah.
Well,
But still,
dude.
bro. Come on now.
Yeah.
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 God. Ugh. Yeah. That.
I'm just saying, it
Ugh.
doesn't relate to the whole kid situation, but it's not a good look.
Yeah.
Regardless.
definitely,
This is
at
pretty heavy
all.
for a third episode of a podcast.
Well, I thought the
Yeah.
second episode was
We got
heavy.
some
but-
jokes. We got some jokes.
We're
in
always
there.
heavy. We're always.
Nothing
mean
but
by that?
sunshine and rainbows
Yeah.
at the MBR podcast.
Yeah.
Well, we
Yeah.
all kind of deal with heavy topics anyway. I mean, that's what
That's
people come
true.
to our
Well,
channels
true.
Yeah,
for.
no,
Yeah.
exactly.
Not
That's
like,
true.
not like people who watch my content are going to be turned off by conversation about criminals.
Yeah.
You know,
Same here.
Yeah.
True, that's
Mine
true.
are
with
gonna be
pretty
turned
much
off
all
about
of you guys.
Child exploitation talk, so I think we're
Yeah.
kind of good in that regard.
I was gonna ask though, like speaking of the Make-A-Wish thing, like if you found out that some, well, for us, I guess probably be better to say like a teenager was their like Make-A-Wish thing was to like meet Brugli or whatever, would you just jump and
Dude,
go?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Definitely, bro.
Yeah.
Especially
would
somebody
too.
that's
I
used
would
like
too.
Make-A-Wish for myself. I would be like, hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It
Absolutely.
would
You'd almost
break
have
my
to.
heart, dude. Like I think I would, but I couldn't even tell you because that kind of thing would just break my heart. That like I know,
There
like
was-
it's oh god. I mean, it's such an emotionally taxing thing that
Yeah.
someone's wish, the
Yeah.
one thing they want in the world,
Yeah,
is
the
to be
one thing.
you.
Yeah.
You're like, what? Why me?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
right.
why
Oh
me?
yeah, because to us we're just
But,
freaking guys.
You might
There
just
was
need to
some,
shoot him straight. Just be like, "Hey, kid, you should not have wished for me."
Yeah.
I'm not
Pick like a
cool,
pool or something,
kinda
bro.
wasted your wish. But
No, it would make me.
But
I
there
think
was
I would
some
do it, but
celebrity
I
that I'm
hate it
thinking of
terribly.
who there was a Make-A-Wish kid who wanted to see her. I can't remember who she was. Maybe this will ring some bells, but she kept like putting it off, saying she was too busy, just indefinitely.
Dude,
And it
that's
just never
that's
happened.
crummy. That's crummy.
Okay, I gotta Google this. Feel free to keep talking, but
Yeah,
what
that's.
was that?
I
Yeah.
would if someone for some godforsaken reason wanted to meet me as their final wish.
I can see more kids watching your content.
Yeah, they do. Unfortunately,
Like,
Yeah.
what's your demographic? What's your age group?
I'm gonna pull that up. That's a good
Wait.
question.
Jared, you said that you've done Make a Wish. What was your wish?
So I was gonna talk about this.
Actually, how was like?
let's hear
Let's
it.
peel back the curtain.
I
Yeah,
have
what
a
was
I have
your
a
wish?
bone to pick
How'd
with
it
Make a
work?
Wish for this next 2 minutes.
Okay, it says Ina Garden, chef and host of Food Network show Barefoot Contessa, has twice rejected a child's Make-A-Wish request.
Why?
The child would often watch her from his sickbed.
Oh my
God.
dude, screw you.
She's
Screw you,
just
bro.
like, nah.
Screw you, Like,
Dude.
actually,
Yeah.
actually.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's
But
awful.
what I was saying is about Make a Wish. I love the company; it's a great thing. But my first wish was to go on an African safari because that'd be awesome, right? You know, like a 7-day safari. But
Sounds
they
doable.
wouldn't let me go because my immune system was too weak still. And so they were like, you know what, we're not gonna risk you getting like a foreign disease. And I was like, okay, so let me go to the Bahamas with my family. And they said no to that too. And I was like, okay.
Probably no foreign trips in general.
I figured
Yeah,
that out. I
assume.
figured that out. And then I was like,
Yeah.
what can I get? Because I wanted to like include my family. So I got like a big in-ground pool. That was what I got.
Okay,
And
All
it's-
right.
I still use it to this day.
solid.
So
Oh,
yeah.
solid
nice,
wish.
dude. Okay.
Is that in your garden?
It's in my backyard. Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't see that.
We
when I went
didn't
over.
go to the backyard.
Oh, dude, you
Ah,
just
there you
go
go.
to the wish pool.
Fair.
Yeah.
Jared made that shit. I'm not sure if you heard it, but like Fox, you were like, "Oh, in your garden," and Jared's like, in my backyard."
Yeah, my backyard. We don't we don't call it a garden here.
Yeah.
For us, the garden
have,
is
like,
like
5
a little
acres.
area in our front yard where plants are
like some
it's
herbs
not-
and
it's not the
thyme
whole
and
thing.
fucking allspice grows and shit. Like no,
we would just call that a front porch.
no.
Or even like maybe even a front garden. But
We don't
so
do that here.
I've got a question then. Do they give you like a list of the things you could wish for?
So when I did it, they were like, say something and we'll say yes or no. That's how it was. Like they didn't give me a
I
list. They
assume
didn't
it's,
give me
it's easier to say what you can't do.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like it's easier to compile a list of what we won't do than what we will.
Because like
It's
looking
probably-
back, I probably would have
it's
gone
probably
like,
big blanket things like no foreign trips.
well, yeah, the foreign trips thing was big, but I thought I could get away with the Bahamas because it's like off the coast of Florida and such.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's
if I could go back, I'd be like, open me a 401k and give me $10,000. That's what I would do. Like,
can you
that's what I would
invest
go
a
back
shitload of
and do.
money?
I think you can
Invest
wish
in
for your
Tesla.
college. Yeah. Invest in
Okay.
Bitcoin right now.
Yeah.
So you just have to,
To the
word
moon.
it in a way where it's an investment and not just giving you a lump sum of money.
There's
basically.
definitely a way you can get around it, but like, of course, it's up to the kid. And if I said that, it would sound like my parents were trying to manipulate me. That's what it would sound like. So,
Yeah.
Mm,
'cause
oh,
I was 9, so I mean, I was still a younger kid.
I'm impressed you knew where the Bahamas were when you were 9.
So I'm a huge geography buff. Like that's one of my like
Okay.
a touch of the tism. So
That's usually Americans' weak area.
Yeah.
that I knew. I've always
Like
had a
when it
touch
comes
of
to
the tism.
Americans, they can't point out countries. We can't point out countries. It's
Yeah.
something
Those
you
are
acquire
American.
later on.
So like this just goes to show like over Corona, I taught myself like where all the European countries were and how to spell all their names on an empty map, like just because I was bored. So that's like
Awesome, dude.
that's just what I
I can't even do that with the smaller ones.
one of my strange
Like,
like talents, I
all
guess.
consuming.
when you get to the Iron Curtain, I'm like,
Yeah. I'm like,
I'm trying to get,
where's Estonia? Where's Lithuania?
better with that.
Yeah.
I can do
Geography is
Asia.
important.
Like I could do all the small ones in Asia because
Reasons.
Yeah,
Obvious
yeah.
reasons.
weak
Yeah.
in the Europe area.
Yeah. So I mean, my dad he has a master's in geography, which is funny because he's an IT technician, but I don't know why he got that. Anyway,
Oh.
that's different
My
different
degree doesn't
conversation,
have
different
anything to do
day.
with being a YouTuber.
Yeah, I don't have a degree. I dropped out. So
He's a
Oh,
very
right.
I
nice
had a
man.
degree in international relations, being a crime YouTuber.
well, as a crime, international relations, kind of.
I do international crimes. I mean,
That does
Hey,
count.
there you go.
Yeah, there we go. Putting that degree to use.
I was going to ask something as well, actually. I've been mulling this over. If we probably got a bit of time for it, don't we?
Yeah,
I was
just
gonna
an hour and
ask
7 minutes in.
if
we had some parts to squeegee, so time will probably even out.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys, if you weren't doing YouTube right now, what would you be doing instead?
Dude,
You know, I was
asked
just
myself
having this
that question
conversation.
so much.
I was
Yeah.
just having this conversation today, and I was thinking my life would probably suck. I'd still be
Yeah.
teaching. I'd still be dirt broke all the time. I would not have met any of you guys, anyone related to YouTube at all.
No.
Yeah.
Would have missed out on
Crazy.
a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And I almost
know
quit
exactly
YouTube
what
like
you're
3 times in the beginning. And there
Wow.
were so many chances where it would have just not happened. You know?
Was that
Yeah.
before you had met me? And therefore the
Yeah. It was pretty early on, like that stage where you're getting a lot of criticism, but you're not to the point where you're getting paid, so it's harder to deal with.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
actually to piggyback off of that is probably the hardest part is when it's like
Easily.
you're basically getting paid
Easily.
like just fucking
Pennies,
and
not even enough to hit that 100 to even withdraw.
yeah, dude, and it gets carried over to the next month. Oh
Yeah.
my
Mhm.
gosh. That was
That's when you're getting all negatives, no positives. You're getting a lot of
Yes.
hate, you're getting a lot of criticism, and you're not really gaining anything.
Right.
yeah.
And I
Um,
always tell people that's the hardest part to get through.
Yep. But it's that persistence that
Yeah.
that gets you
Yeah.
over that hurdle.
And your
yeah.
skin does get thicker.
Oh, it does.
Oh
really
yeah.
does.
It
Oh
does.
yeah.
I thought
yeah.
I had thick skin, and then like I started reading comments and like
Yeah.
I was like,
But
ouch.
now I'm
Damn.
like, man, what a dick. And you just
Yeah.
kind of scroll
Yeah,
off.
I
of
was
it.
just
I
like,
feel people
lol.
are just so mean too. Like people
Yeah,
are
needlessly.
I've seen some good ones. Like I actually have a thing where like if I see a good one, I'll like save it. I'd have
Yeah.
to dig through
Oh,
my
me too.
because there's some where
Me
I'm just
too.
like that is just a perfect string of words. Like that is an immaculate insult. That is so
Poetry.
good. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Poetry.
like God bless language. That's incredible.
I think we were talking about on Discord what did you say? Your least favorite type of person? It was like adamantly incorrect or something.
Confidently incorrect.
confidently
Yes,
incorrect.
confidence. They correct you on some information, and you're able to throw a source where you're like,
No,
Yeah,
I don't think
I
so,
got
Pat.
it right. I'm positive I got it right.
Yeah.
And they're like, no.
Yeah,
No.
it's like you have
You're
no
wrong.
idea what you're talking about.
Like that guy, mine was a case from Hong Kong, and the guy was like, actually, they don't use dollars, they use yen. And first of all, no, they don't. And second of all, I said the money was the equivalent of $100.
Right.
You know, I was lying in the first place.
Yeah. It's like, sir, you're just wrong. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. And there was another one where the case was about, it was in Japan, but the criminal was Korean. And I said that in the first paragraph of the script, was that he was born in Korea, and I got so many, actually, he wasn't even Japanese, he was Korean. I'm like,
Oh my
yeah,
god,
dude.
It's like it's almost like I stated this.
Yeah, it's almost like it was in the first 30 seconds,
Like,
you know?
do the people even watch the video sometimes? Like, I don't even know if they do because
honestly,
Dude, some
There's
of
no
them, there's
way.
no way they actually watch the video.
I know. It's
swear.
like people watch with glazed over eyes, and then they hear one thing that activates a neuron,
Yeah.
and they comment.
Yeah.
It's really strange.
I swear they're background listening, and they just heard one sentence that set
I
them off.
swear.
Yeah,
With
exactly.
no
swear.
context.
Exactly. I think
they
that's
don't
what
think they just pop
most
on the
people do.
screen.
They get pulled out of
Yeah.
the matrix and they're just like, oh, I heard a thing.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
no, I have a big
What's
example of
worse
that.
is when
dude. Oh, you can go ahead.
what's worse is when people think you're against them when you're like, dude, I'm on your side. I'm saying that the same thing as you. Why are you mad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like so
that a lot.
tribal. It's like tribal.
I like to agree with the people who, because a lot, like sometimes people make points that are true, and I'm just like, shit, you're right. I'll keep a note of that, and they're like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I didn't expect you to respond like this, and I was
I
like,
actually had a paragraph ready to fire
Yeah,
back at you.
I was
but
gonna.
okay.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, Control
Well,
X. You
sometimes
know?
it's just like, hey, the music in this video was a bit too loud, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll take that into
Fair
mind. And
Yeah.
they're like, okay. And
That's
no,
like
those
that's
guys
the
are
end.
fine.
Of it,
those-
yeah.
that's
I
always
like
fine.
little constructive conversations and comments.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Like
thanks,
there's
buddy.
one guy that
Thanks.
explained, I don't remember what it was, but it was on the Incredigate video, and he was clearly charged, and I was just like, I asked questions about his point, and then eventually he was like, yeah, no, you're right, I just want to be mad at someone. Have a good day.
Fair.
Damn.
At least
Yeah,
at
Are you
least he's
telling me an
honest.
internet
Oh my
commenter
God.
conceded, bro? That's crazy.
Yeah, that is
Oh,
wow.
crap, I lost Kaden.
That actually is crazy.
Dude,
So
I
what-
appreciate the honest people.
What I was gonna say earlier
Or,
about like the comment thing, that video I made about Dan Schneider and like all the other creeps, like it's a horrible video full of horrible people, and I got like 20 comments about the way I said memoir. Okay, out of like they weren't commenting about the bad things, but they were like, it's actually memoir. I'm like, well, good
I
thing
mean,
I'm not
people
fucking
pick the
French, bro.
weirdest
It's
one.
memoir. I'm American. I say wire, O-I-R, bro. Oh my gosh.
To be fair, in Missouri, we say
Yes.
memoir.
Yeah.
It just depends on
It's
where you
memoir.
are. It's not even a big deal.
Memoir.
It's a dialect.
That's how you
thing.
say it, bro.
I'll get chewed out
Yeah,
on
I
things
get
that are. I get chewed out on things that are just merely dialect so often.
How do you say choir? It's not choir. It's choir. It's memoir. You know what I'm saying?
make a response video?
Gosh, dude, dude, I had this huge paragraph typed. I was like, well, thank God I'm not French, or like, thank God I'm not European. I'm American. I had a whole thing
me, it
typed
was,
out, bro.
For
It
me,
was
it was the word
crazy.
subsequently. I would say subsequently because that's how people around here say it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I've
also
heard
a
that
way to
too.
say it.
I've heard that too.
I've never heard that before.
Well,
I've
I heard
never-
it. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah, and it's
subsequently.
like,
I've never-
guys, I'm not saying it wrong. I just have a different dialect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
just
guess
from a
it's-
different place.
No,
Relax.
if it's
you're
niche-
wrong.
If it's just
Yeah.
niche dialects,
You are
I
wrong.
guess that's the problem. Is that people have just I've never heard someone say subsequently. So if I
Well,
heard it, I would just think they've read it and they've just pronounced it wrong.
Here's my justification. The root word is sequence.
True.
Subsequently.
True.
Oh, meditate on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, meditate on that one.
Yeah.
I don't know. My rebuttal would just be that a lot of origin
rebuttal's
words
fuck you, I don't care.
Well, we don't know what a root
I
word
would
is
say
here,
no,
buddy. We don't know what it
actually.
is, buddy.
in the English language.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, yeah, take ownership.
Oh my goodness.
No, but I get that because I think I've mentioned it to you guys before. I say woman single and woman plural the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
But
Really?
for me, when I hear some people say women, I'm like, where's the I? Where's the I in woman single, woman
Women.
double? But then
Women.
some people are like, oh, women is the plural. But
Women,
then to me,
yeah.
that sounds like
Women.
WIMEN.
Sure.
I think if
yeah.
anything,
Well,
it's
it's
just
like
an
it's like
emphasis.
lemon. Like lemon is Lemon, but it's not I.
Fair.
Lemon.
Phonetics are
woman.
stupid.
Yeah, I don't say
Yeah, I
lemon.
mean,
You know,
English is insane.
it's so
okay?
it's so
It
dumb,
is.
bro.
Yes.
Dude, when I was
really not
teaching
the
English, I
English
had a
dude.
textbook that was called, well, it wasn't a textbook, it was like a book for teachers called English is Stupid, Your Students Are Not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, valid textbook. Valid
Aw,
textbook.
Fair.
I like that.
solid.
I don't know, it's a crazy language, a beautiful language, but a crazy language
It's,
nonetheless.
it's so stupid, bro.
Dude, I'm glad I didn't have to learn it.
Dude,
Yeah,
same,
yeah,
same.
I wouldn't want to learn that. I
Me
wouldn't
I'm
wanna-
too.
glad I started with that on level 1.
Yeah.
And didn't
Like I
have
have
to
enough
pick
trouble
that up
understanding it here, like in the South, that I'm glad I don't have to
Yeah.
be like another person learning it. Coming
there. Dude, I can't understand.
Wow.
I call them boomhowers.
You know,
I
it's like
call
what?
them the boomhowers. They're impossible to understand.
Yeah.
Like I'll get on an elevator with an old guy and he'll just be like, I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah.
We call it
Yeah.
Appalachianese, so
Totally.
it's like a whole little different language.
Or no,
Yeah,
you do like that like half like, huh.
Yeah.
Eh,
I'm like, yeah.
eh.
Yeah. That's usually my response.
Yeah.
Dude,
I had a
Southern
really hard
guys
time
are-
understanding
Southern guys are hard
Italian.
to understand. They really are.
Oh my
they
God.
are.
And that they always will be.
See,
They will.
that
I
thing you're
reckon
doing
so.
now, that's like medium level
Yeah,
Southern.
yeah,
It can get
yeah.
so much worse.
We heard some Southern people in Tennessee, bro. He heard firsthand some Southern.
But even as
folks.
Americans, we're left baffled. You know?
Dude, but
Yeah.
even as I mean, I think a lot of people, especially if you go to like the north of England and stuff, and like Scotland, I'm sure Caden, you probably know
The
I can't
Glaswegian
understand
accent.
it. I remember
Dude.
one time I was working behind I used to work in a coffee shop, and a guy came up and asked for a donut 3 times, and he was like, "Get on my donut," and I was like, "What? Get on my donut?" and his girlfriend eventually had to say he wants a donut, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
Oh my
Translating.
His caretaker.
Aw.
We
has a
speak the
step
same
in.
language. We speak the
I
same
don't want to
language.
offend
we
any
use
Scottish
translation.
fans out there, but I have to turn on subtitles sometimes.
Oh, I
Oh.
love the Scottish language. It's just not always the
Actually,
the
It's
Can
hard
I-
to
yeah.
understand. No
Yeah,
shade.
yeah.
It's just hard for me.
There's
I don't know
there's
why.
a video I want to share real quick. We can maybe like play it in post. I'll drop it here.
Is it the guy in Parliament?
No. It's a Glaswegian accent.
Oh, I thought. 'cause
Okay,
that's
so,
viral,
here's
yeah.
this video. I'm gonna share my screen real quick so we can all watch this together.
Okay,
Because
perfect.
this
Oh, perfect,
this is
perfect.
actually wait. I'm gonna do a private tab because I don't want people seeing my bookmarks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or actually, wait. I guess you guys
makes
can see
sense.
it. I just don't want random people on the internet. So
We could
cut
like
it
we could
out.
crop it. Yeah, we could
Josh
crop
would.
it.
sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, you guys can say I don't give a shit because I'm upfront. All right.
Screw-
So this
Start
shit,
reading it out loud.
this shit has me rolling. I fucking love this video.
Well, don't play yet, it's still loaded.
famous for being difficult
Alright.
to understand, but the Glaswegian accent can be even more difficult. There are words and phrases in Glasgow that sound a bit like a foreign language even, so I'm on a mission to find some people to help me translate. Okay, so I love the Glaswegian accent, and I was wondering if you could teach me some local phrases.
Well, it's very hard to bring them to mind. This is the thing. It's all right when your eyes are not going and happy. You understand?
Do you understand? Do you
That's
understand?
so awesome.
Woman's like, oh, I'm already fucked. I'm
Yeah.
outta here.
Yeah.
I've talked to some Scottish people and they say like they understand the first bit, but they think for the like this the second and third part of it, like he's just totally like taking the piss.
Yeah.
Like that's
Trails off.
like yeah, like he's doing it to like basically screw with her,
Yeah.
apparently. But yeah,
Allegedly.
that's insane. Oh,
Oh wait, there's another one. There's another one which is I'm sorry to hear your grandma passed away. That's quite a classic. Maybe I'll
what?
Oh
Okay.
wait.
So are
Okay,
we interested?
let me see if I can get this up. Let me
And what I
There's
think
another
I
one
think
where they
it's
try to
the,
get a guy to say purple burglar alarm.
Lemmy.
Can't do it.
can't
do it.
Share your
And it's funny in that video he takes out his earbuds to like lock in.
Yeah. Oh, that's something serious, bro.
Full focus.
Yeah, literally.
Full
It's like,
power.
it's like when you turn down the radio so you can see better.
Yeah, after you're almost
Yeah,
wrecked, you know.
I do that.
Okay.
We
All
all
right. I'm watching Fox. Let's see it.
We got it.
I
Okay,
think
this
would be a good
is.
note to end on too. Like show these things and then I think we can like put a bow.
Yeah.
Can you hear this? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, brilliant. Yeah, so this is called. I think this one's Educating Yorkshire. So here we go.
You might not have meant to, but she's very sensitive at the moment, which she's going to be, isn't she?
Well, Miss, can I just tell you? I'm sorry to hear that your grandma passed away. I actually am. Like, obviously, I'm gonna be upset about that, yeah. And then, you know, the only thing is, no one forced me to be a man.
No, see, there's no words.
Dude, I heard the first few words. It was gone.
Yeah, it was
She is
gone.
speaking English the entire time. I guarantee you, she is speaking English. But
Do you understand?
I slowed it down. I know what she's saying. She's basically saying that I'm sorry your grandma passed away, but no one can force me to be your mate. Which is basically the two girls have gotten into like an argument or whatever. One of them like went to the kind of counselor or whatever, and you know her grandma had recently passed away.
I'm sorry your grandma died, but I am still pissed at you. Hold off for a little while.
I'm sorry your grandma passed away. I actually am, yeah. And then it just goes.
Yeah, it off for sure. She wheels on that one.
I used to get that a lot as well, where people would just say like, "It's pronounced this, not that," and I'm like,
dude,
that's probably some of the criticism I get the most, and I think every YouTuber gets it.
I get that so much.
Yeah,
pronunciation.
There is no universal way to say it anyway, so it's kind of like worthless. I guess
it's kind of an ambiguous thing. I think the second most thing YouTubers get is probably hair.
Oh yeah, I guess we do. We probably do.
It's all of us. It's all of us. We'll get
Neutron,
something hair related. I got do a forehead reveal for like 3 years, and then when I reveal my forehead, they're like, "Your forehead's too fucking big. Put it away."
That's horrible.
Yeah. That's insane. All right, do we want to?
I thought they would be happy.
Sorry.
All right, I'll put the bow on it, boys.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you liked us talking about Dan Schneider and feet and other like accents and stuff.
Gooning and Mark.
Bye.
Yes, thank you for
Bye-bye,
watching.
everybody.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 3. Everyone, no, my voice
Squeezy.
No.
All right, y'all take.
Dude, it's such comment bait. Leave it in.
No, that's good. That's good. We'll leave it.
Yeah,
We'll leave
that's
it in.
good. That's good.
All right.
Peace.
Voice cracks aside, you all
Yeah.
take care. Have a good one. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Peace.